Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 4th of November. So last week we had two of the biggest data points for the month, which was the non-farm payroll numbers and also the Fed interest rate decision. Now, though Fed interest rate decision came in widely as expected with a reduction of 25 basis points, so maybe we might be expecting a little bit more predictable price action sort of going forward. Having said that, we've also hearing rather good sort of reports coming out of China and also the US on the progression of the trade discussions and the potential sort of trade deal that the two countries are working on. So that is certainly going to be good news and supportive for the markets as well. So let's take a look at a few markets here that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room at the start of this week. So first of all, if we come and take a look at our favorite commodity for the week, which is silver. Now, silver here, if we take a look at this on the higher time frames, first of all, on the weekly, we can see that the market's had a very good run, sort of punching out sort of from all of these sort of previous sort of consolidations that the market's put in over the sort of recent past few years. In fact, the market's almost made a run towards the $20 price point, not quite making it, but not far off it. Since then, we've had a well-deserved sort of retracement and the market's sort of fallen back into this sort of consolidation range. It's a range sort of between $18 to around that sort of $17 to $18 mark. And you can see that in the past, the market has sort of found support and resistance around those sort of price points as well. So if we come down to the daily time frame, you can see on the daily time frame, it's starting to get evidence here of buying momentum coming back into the market and pressure building towards the longer side here as the market's starting to get up towards this the $18 price point. Now, I've got a level in here just above 18, so it's around 18,170, where there's been previous support and resistance in the past, you can see sort of through here. So at this moment in time, trend is starting to look more bullish on the daily time frame, and also the indicators here starting to indicate some strength in momentum as well. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for opportunities once the market sort of gets above this price point here, once it gets above the sort of 18, sort of 17 level, because there's quite a sort of decent size sort of a free space above price action. If we come down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see this sort of detail and this sort of turnaround in trend in a little bit more detail here. You can see that we've had a long trend starting to form here over the past few sort of trading sessions. In fact, we've got this level through here with again starting to look sort of quite interesting, and sort of a consolidation where the market's sort of compressing up against this 18 level. And in fact, it's just above this 18 level here on the 4-hour time frame. So again, my perspective is that for long opportunities, but only if we've got evidence here of the market pushing up above that sort of 18, 17 sort of level. Now, if we come and take a look at the Dow, this is the Dow futures contract. This market's had a very good run of late. If we take a look at this on the weekly chart, we can see that the market's had this sort of nice sort of formation here where we've had consistent higher lows forming in the market, and also the market sort of capping out here around these sort of recent highs. Now, the market's just sort of breaking out to the long side at the moment, but it's still got quite some way to go to catch up with the S&Ps and the NASDAQ. So my bias here is still for long opportunities on the Dow, or the Dow futures contract, still looking at strength in this market, and at this moment in time there doesn't seem to be any evidence of weakness coming in. Certainly any sort of trade deal between the US and China is likely to be supportive of equities and stocks in any case. So the sort of general sort of momentum and sort of fundamentals could be supportive to the long side. Obviously, news is never guaranteed until it's confirmed. So if we come down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that on some of these markets, on some of these time frames now, the market's looking quite stretched. It's looking a little bit extended. So my preference is to start to look for opportunities for retracements in the context of trends. So we can see that the market's had a very good run here, a very good sort of move to get up to the high there. So I'm certainly going to be keen on areas where the market sort of may retrace, possibly back into levels. Now we've got a level around 27 sort of 235 here, where there's been previous support and resistance, any sort of areas where the market sort of may pull back into construct a higher low. Those are areas where I'll be looking at for evidence of support and potential sort of opportunities to get positioned into the market from a swing basis. Now, if we come down and take a look at currency markets now, again, our preference is on some of the more smoother flowing, some of the more sort of longer term constructed trends that we have in the Forex markets. Now, those tend to be centered around the yen markets, and our sort of favorite being Aussie yen, that was a favorite from last week, and also Kiwi yen as well. So if we take a look at this from the weekly time frame from to start, we can see that the market has sort of turned around here from the weekly time frame. The trend has now sort of made a higher low and a higher high, and we've got that sort of trading window there up towards that sort of 76 sort of price point. A bit more clear if we come down to the daily time frame. We've now got a well-structured long trend in place at the moment, and in fact we've got this level here around 75, sort of 275. That was an area where we were sort of targeting last week. The market hit that level, retraced back into the support level, and looks like the trend is still continuing. So our preference here is to continue to look for long opportunities as long as this trend stays intact, with a ultimate sort of aim for targeting the sort of 76 sort of price point up here. Now, if we come and take a quick look at Kiwi against the yen, we'll see a very sort of similar price action, very similar sort of structure here. So the Kiwi yen, again, on the weekly chart has, now made a higher low and now a higher high. There is a sort of a window up here towards that sort of 72.5 level where there's been previous key support, as you can see. So rather sort of decent size sort of potential window there of distance. If we come down the time frames, coming down to the daily, you can see that on the daily we've already got a well-structured trend here forming to the long side. And again, there's a bit of a level through here, just around that sort of 69.70 price point. But again, above that level puts us into a sort of relatively reasonable sort of trading window up towards that sort of 72 area. So again, looking at long opportunities here on Aussie yen and Kiwi yen, and that's sort of taking advantage of the recent sort of strength that we're seeing in the Aussie and the Kiwi, and the recent weakness in the yen as well. So if you like the techniques that we use to understand price action, and you want to find out a little bit more about how we trade the markets and the sort of techniques and strategies we use, then you can join us on our free trading bootcamp that we're running in conjunction here with Blackwell Global. To find out more about it, if you just pop along to the Blackwell Global website, you need to come across to the education tab, come down to learn, and then you come to the trading bootcamp tab here. This brings you to this page, and you can find out more about the trading bootcamp and how it's sort of structured. So if I scroll down here, you'll see that there are actually 4 different sessions for the program. Runs over the course of 4 weeks, and the first session is starting on the 11th of November. It's at 7 o'clock UK time, 7 o'clock PM UK time. Now, the program is completely free of charge to join. All you need to do is come along to the Blackwell Global website, as I say here. You can click on any one of these links, and that will take you through to sign up for the program. So that brings us to the end of the newsletter today. I certainly hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.